Okay, I'd like to call the meeting, the Board of Directors for Wednesday, November 19th to order. Item B, establishment of a quorum.
Director Cotton,
Here.
Director Zuka,
Here.
Director Covington,
Here.
Vice President Bella,
Here.
President Wheeler.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Pledge of allegiance. Do we have a volunteer?
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment. Do we have any public comments to deal with?
No comments.
Okay. Agenda review. Are there any items anyone would like to? No?
No.
Thank you. Acknowledgements, none, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Moving to the consent agenda, number 5.
On the minutes, I have one quick question. Allison, I'm here
Yes.
listed as arrived at 6:42. I thought I was virtual last time.
Yes, you were.
Okay, cool. All right.
But
got it.
because of there was like a little bit of a error trying to get you in. The timing of
Okay.
you getting in was at 6:42.
All right. Wait.
You didn't virtually arrive.
Again. Maybe my spirit was here, I don't know.
Right.
All right.
Item 6, hearings and appeals. None?
Do we want to
approve.
Do we need a
approve the
motion?
consent agenda?
Yes.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
make a
sorry, the
motion.
consent, yes,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
thank you.
Was that Director Zuka who second?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Vice President Bella,
Yes.
Director Zuka,
Yes.
Director Cotton,
Yes.
Director Covington,
Yeah.
President Wheeler.
Yes. Moving on to hearings and appeals. We have none,
There are none.
thank you. Item 7, capital improvement program. Receive a report on the public outreach process for the Tacoma tank.
Yeah.
Explain.
All right. We do have a little presentation that will go along with this one. So we've got 4 key tank projects coming up from our capital improvement program. We have Decoven, West Belmont, and Exborn are the main ones that we are focusing for regarding this discussion on outreach. The projects involve recoating, refinishing, and replacing some of the tanks, and I'll get into some of those more a little bit more detailed. So these are crucial projects for our system. The one that's on the screen here, can we make it bigger? Or not, don't worry about it. If not, you guys also have the presentation there. So this is West Belmont. It's going out to bid with Exborn later this month, and construction is planned for this winter. This first slide right here shows the West Belmont tank site, which is relatively isolated there with the red square. So it won't require as much outreach as the other 2. Next slide, please. And this on the screen here shows our Exborn site. We do have some neighbors at this site who are going to be particularly interested. This is where the tree fell on the house a few years ago. And we had to also remove some trees that were previously blocking the view from the tanks. And due to some site constraints, we're not able to replace those trees in the same place. So they're going to be very interested in the colors of the tank and the landscaping plans and everything like that. We are planning on replacing the trees elsewhere on the site where we can, where they're not constrained by overhead
But the tank
utilities.
is gonna show, right? The walls of the tank are gonna be.
The wall of the tank, yes,
Initial.
yeah, they'll be visible as they are right now, yeah. Yeah, so let's export, and then the next slide. And then we have our DeKoven's tank replacement project. This one was postponed in 2021 due to the initial rounds of bidding coming in really high. Right, I guess during COVID, steel prices were high and things like that. So the board at the time decided to postpone it and wait for funding and such. So this is currently under design and we're anticipated to start in the summer of 2026 if all goes well. Next slide. So why community outreach? Our tanks are the largest and most visible structures in residential areas. The work can be particularly disruptive, so we really want to engage with the neighbors early to share our plans and get their feedback. We're committed to minimizing disruption and addressing their concerns where we can. And the next slide. For the approach to the outreach that we'd like to take for these tanks, we're kind of mimicking what we did for the DeKoven tanks in 2021 and taking in a couple of lessons learned, which I'll get to. So the strategy basically includes dedicated project web pages. This would be to keep everyone updated with details, FAQs, contact info. We'll do direct communication, mailers and door hangers to inform the neighbors about the schedules and also to invite them to meetings. And then we'll also hold a couple of community meetings, open houses. We're recommending a hybrid, so it would be online and in-person meetings for the key sites, which would be DeKoven and Expo. The meetings can be recorded for later viewing. This would be to ensure broader participation. And then also on our webpage, we would allow follow-up feedback, maybe some online forms for people to give us their opinions, you know, in other formats besides showing up to the meeting. And then also maybe some on-site notices and signage when we get closer to the project. This is an example, you can't really see it, but it's an example of a letter that was sent out in 2021 or put on the webpage. I'm not really sure, Customer Connect. It was just letting people know about the upcoming meetings and such. Next slide. This slide is just a couple of the other, it's an example of some of the other materials that went out with the last outreach project for DeKoven. These are also in your packet as attachments. Here you can see an example of the colors and landscaping that we were considering at the time. We actually did a customer survey and got everyone's feedback on the 3 different colors of the tanks, which is what we would like to ask you all for your opinion during this meeting. During the last time, the color that the residents chose as part of the survey later came back to it was actually the core 10, the rust colored one. That's what the residents chose, and the board at the time did not like that color. So the project got held up, and so this time we'd like to ask for your opinion in the beginning so that we don't include anything that you wouldn't go for in the survey. Yeah, so the big part of this initial discussion is just to get your feedback on preliminary input on the color options and our overall strategy that we would present to the neighbors for these projects.
So do we want to pause here and talk about colors?
They're also shown on the next screen a little bit larger. Yeah.
So core 10 steel, the rust colored one, that is an option at DeKoven. It is not an option at Exporn. DeKoven, we're completely rebuilding tanks from scratch. At Exporn, what we have. So just to give that little distinction.
Yeah, basically it's a type of steel that weathers down and so you don't have to coat it again. You don't have to paint it again. Right, so it becomes self-protecting. It's essentially
that that layer of rust on it.
Right.
Stops it from
Uh,
oxidation.
And so there is there is some additional initial expense. It's a little bit more expensive, but long-term, because you don't have to keep painting it every 20 years. It's a cost savings, but it's that color, right? So that's the,
It's natural.
it's very, yeah, I like that. That's very natural. So some districts are all core 10, because of their, location and so forth. But anyway, those are the
Like-
options.
You mentioned Parisima, Hillsborough.
Yeah, so Parisma and Hillsborough that I know of, a lot of their tanks are core 10. I think Burlingame, if I recall correctly, has a couple, is it Burlingame or San Bruno?
Not
But
Burlingame,
maybe San
unless they
Bruno.
changed them.
No, maybe it was San Bruno, but it is, it's not I wouldn't say it's, out of the blue, no pun intended, color, like it's
It's either
something
really
that,
good or really bad, I'm not sure which, fun.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised that the neighbors like that one the best because it's very visible. It doesn't sort of blend into the background.
Yeah.
In a way.
From
Yeah.
what I understand, some of the factor from the customer's standpoint was the fact that it didn't have to be recoated, like the interior is still coated and needs to be recoated periodically. But because the exterior didn't be recoated, that's that much less interruption in their neighborhood to have that work done, so that was a consideration.
but you can imagine a 50-foot, tank next to your
Yeah.
house of that color, and right now the colors are, I'm sorry, Ken, but I was gonna just mention that the colors are either blue or green on the existing tanks. So those are relatively close to matching what is up.
Jacobin is currently blue. Exborn is green, but there's actually two different greens on the two tanks. And as I heard it, we painted one tank green, the neighbor said they didn't like the color, they chose the color of the second one, and that's why they're different colors.
Aren't we just recoding one on Explore?
To start with, but
So
the second
we're
one.
gonna do one this year and then one next year.
Okay.
So, but it'll be done pretty consecutive. So we want the colors to be aging, that's the right word, aging at the same rate. So we want them to be as close as possible to each other.
And how often do we repaint them? You said.
About 20 to 25 years or so, yeah. So the coating folks get mad at me when I say paint. So it's a coating system now, like it's more than just paint, right? Like it's a whole kind of 3-layer system. So it's gotten more sophisticated as time goes by. So every cycle, it just gets better and better. So, but anyway,
The age of the export tanks are though, there's two tanks, right?
there are two tanks, right?
And they're about the same age or?
No, one is newer. And so one was built in 2000, the newest one was built in, I think, 2005 timeframe. So it's about 20 years old. The newer one, and then the
And the older one?
older one, I think, is 5 years before that. I don't have their exact dates, but.
No, the reason I'm saying this is because, you'll know how long have you've been here when the community outreach involved directors to go talk to the neighbors, which I did when we were building Export, and I go like, was a long time.
Hang on, did I give those right dates? Yeah, 2005, 2000, yeah, I think that's the right dates, but
I'm not
because
sure
it was my first
both
job
of them
for the district,
Two of them.
so
No, you were not in the picture yet. So it was before you.
for the construction,
Yes.
we did the construction,
Construction one, yeah.
constructing it.
Because the neighbors were very, very vocal. And the
As
general
they are.
manager didn't want to go there. So Dave Alcher and I went in somebody's house, all the neighbors were just ganging up on us.
I didn't realize that was an option.
It's not.
I mean, it is the bluest one to do.
No. And Louis said no already. Don't even try.
And I think they're still vocal, like that hasn't changed.
There's
So,
one lady that.
But I was thinking, 20 years from 25 years from now, hopefully those neighbors won't be there anymore.
Mm.
Neither would we, but still. Anyway,
There
I'm sorry,
was
Joel,
one
go ahead.
lady that I was communicating with about the trees just recently through email, and I just want to let you guys know that she has already proposed a color that's not up here. She said that, she asked AI what color you would paint a big tank if you wanted to hide it. I skipped a word there because it's a public meeting, and she came up with like a light tan. I don't know where those, why, if we ever considered like a tan beige color.
yeah, we have Hallmark that's kind of a beige color, but the palettes are at this point infinite, not infinite, but I mean, as close as we can get it, but we wanna we don't wanna keep having different tank colors in different, I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have it somewhat.
Yeah, but also the environment sometimes dictates, you might have a different type of landscape area than the other. So I think our driving should be make the neighbors happy, and not break our back, obviously, so.
So what we're thinking of proposing and want your feedback on is, a blue option, like a lighter blue and a slightly darker blue option. The coating company can provide the most commonly used colors that we can work from, and a lighter green and a darker green option. And providing those to the customers to get, or the neighbors to get their feedback. And then the question mark on if we want to have Core 10 as an option. At
Or just the
Coven
COVID.
or not.
West Belmont is blue, right?
It's blue, yeah, it's the one on the color is roughly close to the one on the
Yeah,
left.
because that one we were thinking of, it blends with the sky,
Right.
Yeah.
So Exborn is pretty high too, because that's a steep hill.
Well, Exborn, you have neighbors from the top looking down. West Belmont, we don't have anybody from the top looking down.
Yeah, West Belmont, yeah, from the top and from the bottom, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the neighbors from the bottom were the ones that were most vocal
the Exborn.
for the Exborn one, yeah.
I guess the question, as Kat put it, do we want to have Core 10 as a option? Because last time that's what they picked and then the board said
Oh.
didn't want it, so
I'll join you in
I hate
that. I
to.
think it looks like it's
Ugly.
abandoned and it's like
Ugly.
coming from an old west
Yeah,
thing. I mean,
Yeah.
if we wanted to have the antique look, I'd go with it, but
it looks like a tag you see in ghost town
Yeah.
somewhere,
yeah, if you push it, it's gonna fall over.
Yeah,
To be fair,
Especially at
Coven
Exborn.
tanks already kind of look like this since we haven't recoated them in too long.
yeah.
It's a separate issue.
Yeah. I'm fine with either the green or the blue.
The blue.
Honestly, I don't have any
Blue,
preference. I think the
water
blue is like,
blue.
looks up, yeah, water blue in the sky.
Mhm.
And I think it will disappear a little
Yeah.
easier than the green, right? Unless they wanna put a mural on it.
Yeah, we have blue on our logo, there's blue all over, yeah, it's water, so it's blue.
Yeah.
I mean, to a certain extent, as soon as we ask the question, we're opening up the universe.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
giving the residents and they're gonna go drive around. And this could come back to us and we'd have to have a reason as to why not. It could be price, I mean, construction costs
More
is more,
expensive, yeah.
steel's more expensive.
Which one,
The
Matt?
one,
The Core 10,
yeah.
the weathered steel?
yeah.
What,
Is it more
they would be saying we should go with it?
No, in other words, even if we open it up to the blue and green, as soon as we open it up to the public, they're gonna ask for tan. Or someone's gonna drive out and see this in Hillsborough potentially and come back and say, hey, I like the rust colored one. Kind of thing, and so we're gonna, to me, it's more a question of, do we want public input, yes or no? If we want public input, then we have to sort of be comfortable allowing the public to decide.
It's just the neighbors though, right?
It's just
Not,
the neighbors.
not the whole district.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just the neighbors,
And
and,
they're the ones who live with it. on
they're
a
the ones who
day-to-day
live with it.
basis.
I agree. I mean, I would not want a rust colored tank by my house. But if the 10 surrounding homes said, I really want that, do I really care? I personally don't. Unless it's gonna cost us 10% more, and then I care.
It's actually more costed,
long
long
term.
term, long
In the
term
long
is more
term, sure.
cost advantage, cost advantageous to go with the weathered steel.
we just say, these are your limited choices without opening it up to the universe and just say,
That's,
you know,
that's
you
what we
get
said last time.
Yeah.
an apple or an orange, just pick it.
We'll be careful in the way we craft the outreach when we present it to the public. We're starting early, so we'll, you know, take time. Because you're right, as soon as you engage the neighbors, depending on the personality.
Yep.
They'll
So we're gonna tell
take
them,
on certain ownership that they don't
we're
necessarily.
gonna hear you, but this is the way it's going to be. Help me hear you, this is the way it's going to be. Thank you very much for your input, but this is the way it's going to be. That's it, Blue, done.
And we'll take other feedback on the construction project as well. We'll talk about the process. We'll let them know what it's like, you know, we'll exit. This is their neighborhood, this is their homes. We want to hear them, and wherever we can reasonably accommodate, we will.
I was speaking to a nearby resident at my house, and they were complaining about the house that's gonna, not like a block away. And the windows, and the fact that they have to see those windows when they walk down it's just not right, and someone should do something about it, right? Like, that's the level of sort of NIMBYism that we get sometimes, so. I don't know, I'm fine opening it up, but I think, yeah, if we constrain it, we have to go in with the constraint saying it's gonna be a painted tank. Sorry, it's not a painted tank, it's gonna be a painted tank. Or if we're gonna open it up, then we have to be comfortable living with that as the standard.
If there's 2 shades of blue and 2 shades of green, say, here's your choices.
We could add a shade of, you know, beige tan easily, you know.
To honor, you know, out of respect for ChatGPT's opinion.
The most local neighbor, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tim
won't
might
be
work if
the only
it was
one.
maybe on a golden
She's already
hillside.
upset about trees.
Yeah.
Not all of the neighbors in the export neighborhood actually are customers. It borders Calwater, so
That's true.
some of the little ones are Calwater customers.
And the West Belmont is interesting because you have everyone driving down Ralston that sees it,
Yeah.
but they're not neighbors, right? But they feel very.
And given that situation, we're not doing specific outreach in West Belmont. There's really only one direct neighbor.
Right.
Nobody, as far as I'm aware, has complained about the tank color or anything. We're just doing the same color.
Oh, no, they complained, I remember when we painted a tank, people complained about it.
Well.
Yeah, but.
If not, we need outreach to everyone who comes from
Water quality.
Land nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could barely notice that.
You don't want the rust of it? That one would stick out like a sword.
Kind of rebuild the tank.
Statement.
Done.
Statement tag.
Yeah, that one we can't anyway, you're right. That's.
We have neighborhood association in all 3 bank sites area. And that's what you probably should focus on that. Cause I know West Belmont has, you know, but the other 2, I don't know.
Good question. I do not know off the top of my head.
Yeah. Because the neighborhood association they could actually help us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, because we just put the pipeline in Tacoma, and I don't think. Sure. That's a good question.
The city will have all the neighborhood associations of all the entire city, so.
Okay,
Okay.
so no core 10 is an option. We'll give 2 shades each of blue, green, and tan and get feedback on those colors. And whatever the consensus seems to be.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to actually see the statistics on it rather than they pick that. Yeah.
Well, I can understand the tan. I mean, I've walked the export site from the bottom and the top, and the tan actually, I think, could work there, because it would just look like the color of a house.
Yeah.
You know,
And we're planting around it, but it's not gonna be anything this high, or are we expecting something to grow up kind of to cover most of it, or?
This one here is Decoven. Specifically, it's Exborn where, well, there's been some comments about trees, after PG&E actually removed quite a few trees in Decoven, and we've replanted some since. It's Exborn where, the area, you can see, no, where the Decoven still, yeah, here. So this area here is where trees were removed, and the tank is now much more visible. All these trees were planted on a steep hillside. And there's just no clear area to plant trees and have them be safe and stable on that hillside. There's also a pipeline in that hillside. There are power lines above. And there's also highly engineered retaining walls supporting the site and all of that mass. So we're just very constrained. We've talked about and we'll try putting like potted tall cypress around. They'll never get as tall as the eucalyptus, but they will, be some greenery that will shield. It's just unfortunate that those are the site constraints that we have.
Sorry, so which one is the west tank, the green one or the white one?
The green one.
So we're painting that one first.
Yes.
One first, yeah. And I think murals were mentioned here. Murals is something that we have talked about. In theory, it would be great. There's obviously an added cost to creating a mural. But our concerns are with the maintenance of it, because we'll have to pressure wash the tanks periodically. And if your mural is looking unsightly in 5 years, now you're repainting murals every 5 years, and it's just
I went into a whole agreement with that at Seven Tail, and you gotta hire an artist, and you gotta select the artist, and then you gotta have the whole rights with them, and who's gonna do it's a lot of work.
not as straightforward as
No,
you would
it's not
like it to be.
Mhm.
Nope. So. Any thoughts on the kind of the thorough outreach plan we have otherwise?
The one thing, that I've always just as a thought is that if you have a place where you're gonna get foot traffic, sticking a sign and a QR code there and saying, "Click on for more information," is gonna get the passerby that's not on the mailing list if you're interested in that stuff.
I can
we-
tell you, my firm does not think you should ever click on a QR code in public
Okay,
because it can be a scam that
Yeah.
someone puts over
Opens
one that
up.
we put up
fair
and
enough,
then they get into your phone.
fair enough.
I was thinking of like, real estate.
I put them all over the sidewalk in San Mateo.
Like, when somebody's got a house for sale, they put flyers
Lawyers.
in it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something we could put
We
in.
could put a QR code up saying, "Don't click on this." Might be a scam, but if you're interested in more,
We
yeah.
can go to school with a Bitly link.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But we plan, the signs are a very good idea. We also plan to have a mailer and potentially door hanger too. It's not, people don't always check their mailer at the door, so just give 2 options. We're talking a few hundred, not, thousands of neighbors, so. I'll have to-
I mean, the public outreach it's the worst thing we do. In the sense that you never reach everybody. Even if you did, they're gonna deny that they ever got it. If they object to the project, and you're only gonna hear from the fringes. You're gonna hear from the 5% on the left and the 5% on the right, everybody in the middle doesn't care. So it's really hard to actually sit down and take those opinions and come up with an average as to what, so I think we need to do it. I just, I question decision-making by public outreach.
We'll do our best. I think that outreach worked well for the Prop 218 rate increase, and Folger outreach we did, so. We'll hopefully keep up.
Yeah, no, it's just painful,
It is.
like I ran 3 public meetings on the most controversial one I've ever done, and it was 100% support. And then I'm like, why is it only the bicycle advocates that are in this room? And I realized, none of the neighborhood's actually showing up, it's just the bike advocates, this isn't working.
They show up everywhere.
Yeah. They do.
Oh, yeah.
And then when we actually got the public in, the public was opposed to the project. But the bike advocates were in favor of it, so.
Which brings us back to the importance of the neighborhood association, because if somebody says, "Oh, I never heard about it, nobody ever told me," so, well, we told your neighborhood association. And that in turn will help those associations to get more membership into them. If you really wanna know what's going on, join their membership association. Cause we cannot, obviously hold hands with everybody, so then you give it to somebody that has some clout, hopefully, in the neighborhood.
Maybe we should just do one color each.
Yeah.
Either a blue, a green, or a tan.
Shades.
If not that many people vote, then it'd be hard to really.
You never get a
Stuff that out.
consensus,
Yeah,
there's six.
Actually, that's.
We can do interesting things with online surveys where we give them a forced ranking, put your top, for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can do the math and it's
So what a
weighted.
color that everybody hates. Give them the dissatisfaction of saying.
Everybody's number two.
Yeah. Everybody, all right, they don't have everybody else.
There we go.
Makes me feel important,
There you go.
Everybody
eliminated
selected
one
hand
color.
second, but it gets it.
Thank God they didn't do the black one. Yeah.
We stopped them.
I know,
We stopped them from doing the black
Love
one.
that blue tank. Victory.
The psychology of people.
So
Are we done picking colors?
you have enough information?
Yeah.
Keep
You're
right ahead.
confused enough. With colors.
Okay.
So it's gonna come back again? But this is just a report, right? So,
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
see
do
it.
the outreach, we'll share the results of the outreach
and
with
then
the board.
we'll see it next month or in January, what do you?
We're planning on doing the outreach, I think it's in there, but I think it was end of February, early.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like I said,
We'll see it
we're
again.
gonna early start on it, so we can
All right,
put plenty of thought to it.
fair enough. Okay, good.
And the recoding process starts in May, April,
I think we're shooting for March stuff.
So doing it
March,
February.
April, actually more like April, yeah.
Sure.
And it doesn't affect bidding, it's just
True.
this color.
It's just the color, so
Yeah.
when we could choose the color at up to where. To the
Halfway through construction.
Yeah, it's not a critical.
Okay. Good. Okay, moving on to the regular business agenda. Consider resolution 2025-29, adopting the Mid-Peninsula Water District policy on the use of AI. And Allison, you gonna talk on this?
Yes, I will. So we're bringing forth the AI policy for the district. As we all know, that AI is definitely a hot topic across all industries, and public sector is definitely no exception to that. And so with that, the district definitely understands that staff will be naturally curious on how to use it on their daily work. And so our goal was to really make sure that we are putting in thoughtful parameters on how staff will be allowed to use this technology, but while safeguarding the district, protecting sensitive information, and I think most importantly, kind of just upholding the trust that the community places in us. So this policy is actually designed to be a living document at this point. So as we know, AI is just continuously evolving. It is consistently changing. So we will revisit this, we will refine it, we will review it consistently. New guidelines come out very often. Best practices are being put out all the time. So as those happen, we will definitely be updating it. So the intention here is to not so much limit staff from using it, because we know that there is going to be that desire to use it, but putting the district in a place where we can make sure that we are responsibly allowing our staff to use it. So you can see here in the outlined policy, the guidelines that staff are going to be able to use it, what information they can and cannot put into it, the ownership of the material that is put out, that they are putting forward to us, that is going to be on them as well. So this definitely is our first stepping stone in this AI policy. There's not too many districts that have put out an AI policy yet, so this again will be evolving for sure.
Did you use AI to draft the policy?
No, actually, Catherine Groves, our other district council, she was very helpful in providing me from San Jose State. They had a plethora of information about AI, and to draw from that was so beneficial. So no, I did not have to use AI. I'm actually not a fan of AI. So no, I did not.
And are there like particular tools that are district sanctioned right now that you're using, like are you using Gemini or Copilot or any other tool?
We
So-
are not.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chat GPT, people are using that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely those popular ones that you're hearing about. So like the Chat GPT, like right now, Canva is a really popular one because it produces like graphics and things like that. So you kind of hear the consistent ones that are coming out or that are kind of like already there. Right now in our conference, we're hearing a lot of ones that are companies that are selling their products right now that, you know, are starting their free trials that are really doing the work for the employee, creating the charts, creating the staff reports, creating billing information and data points. And so that's kind of where I feel that staff will be geared towards. So just making sure that whatever they put into the system is what we are prohibiting and making sure that we're safeguarding the district, that they're not putting in that sensitive information.
Right now, we use AI to get our invoices and the data, first cut of data entry done, so that, you know, it gets rid of all the manual data and it's just a QC step. That works out really well. We also use AI when I was down at Palo Alto we're starting to reviewing sewer video
Mhm.
because it is super manual and you can at least get something that you can go in and, you know, spot check. And it doesn't have to be, you know, you're not doing heart surgery, you know, you're just categorizing defects on a sewer line.
Yeah.
I will say that I tried to use Copilot this week to summarize my meeting availability, and it wrote a nice email. And it Monday, insert availability here. Tuesday, and I'm like, that's not exactly what I was looking for. The one say that I think is not quite on. What I'd like to see is that if others that are working for us, like consultants and that kind of thing, they have to disclose
Mhm.
that its use and get approval prior to, because at the end of the day, I think we'd want to know and be able to decide what we're hiring and what we're paying for.
Correct.
And I might have missed that. I didn't see it in here when I was reading it.
Yeah, we definitely have information in there regarding our vendors and contractors. Obviously, because we are hiring them, and so they are part of the district. So we want to make sure that, again, the information that they're providing us, that they're providing for the community, is going to be accurate information. And it's, again, they're not putting in our sensitive information into that. So it is kind of in there, but if we can definitely make it a little bit more pronounced if it doesn't
comply with the use of it. There's nothing in here that says that they have to disclose its use or get our approval for it. But I was, we're saying that the policy applies.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, I think that would be fine to add if the board would like that, we can add that language in.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I want to hear about your visit. Do you find anything?
No, I mean, what I was gonna say, is this gonna be part of the, like a policy manual? I mean, this. Allison, today, as a matter of fact, today I had a visit to OpenAI in San Francisco. And we spent about 4 hours there, and the amount of new technology coming out is just mind-boggling. And so for something like this, I mean, somebody has to be really on top of this because things are gonna be changing almost like on a daily basis. And you don't want anybody to come to you and says, but it's not in our ordinance or it's not in our reso, so therefore I can use it. And by the way, our people especially, and the people that do business with us, they need to know that there's a huge investigative department at OpenAI that are watching everything that's going on in it for misuse, because it's so easy to misuse AI for alternative motives, obviously, you know, by bad apples. And that could happen by even the most, you know, amateurish person could do it, you know, it's so easy. So yeah, I mean, that would be something that I would want to be, you know, on top of it.
We'll definitely revisit the policy as things evolve. I think to your point earlier, we don't currently have AI in our workflow The most notable time it's been used is the creation of our superhero images. That's all a ChatGPT based tool that John Davidson used to create those. But otherwise, we're not currently using it, but it's coming. And there are certainly good applications, and we just want to make sure we have these guideposts and make sure those guideposts stay protective as the
Yeah,
technology
yeah.
changes.
No, I mean, it's a great tool. I mean, my son-in-law is a physician and he used AI and it's like 99.9% accurate every single time, much more than like three physicians putting their heads together on a situation. That's how accurate it is, you know? So it's a great tool, but like any great tools, it could be misused and it's easy for it to be misused.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting too far in the weeds, but I'm just wondering I understand we probably need a policy of what we're going to be using, but nobody's using it now, is what we're saying.
Well, the policy is
Well-
how it can be or should
Yeah.
not be used.
So you want to be ahead of the curve too. You don't want to be behind and be trying to correct things. You want to try to be ahead of the problem.
So I'm just trying to figure out. Again, are we trying to solve a problem now, or are we just trying to put a policy in place that protects us? Or kind of
Yeah.
gives employees guidelines?
It's to protect us from a future problem. For example, if this would not likely happen, but if perhaps, the person doing billing decided to take it on themselves to use an AI tool, did not adequately check things went out inaccurately, well, that would be inconsistent with this policy. That's, that's something that we can point to as opposed to, well, you didn't have a policy and I just did what I did. I was doing my job, it's,
But basically, nobody can claim ignorance
yeah,
because there is something already. So the least you can do is at least, get permission because there is a policy, there is a result. You need to get permission if you want to go down.
and interestingly, AI is something that Aqua JPI is very focused on. And their finance manager of all folks has kind of stepped up as the AI guru, trying all these different tools out. And he was in my leadership class, so I actually got to know him fairly well and all of the updates. But they're very engaged. They're promoting the tools. They think these are really good tools that we should use, but also with guideposts like this to make sure that they're used appropriately.
To be clear though, to your point, Louis, the policy is drafted doesn't require an employee to get permission to use an AI tool. Just if they're using an AI tool, they have to comply with this. So I guess that's a question for management, Kat, is do you want people to disclose and get permission to use an AI tool in the job before they do?
We try not to micromanage the employees. We're a small team. We're pretty communicative. So from my perspective, that's not necessary. If the board feels strongly, I'm not terribly opposed, but that was our perspective in developing it, is that we generally don't micromanage. We don't tell folks, what individual tools they can use to do. The
But we
minutia
would,
of their
as a
business.
district,
So-
though, we would be buying like a license to use a tool. And so I would definitely want to know when that's being proposed,
Yeah,
as opposed to somebody just saying, oh, I'm gonna start doing my reports with.
there's so many free tools out there though, so it's, not necessarily ones that we bought
Mhm.
into.
In order to buy a tool though, you would need a contract agreement, which would definitely come before the board, so. But ChatGPT, there's different levels of free use, limited use. At our firm, we had a few people who just bought their own subscription on their phones and was just using it. It was like $20 a month, but they also couldn't use it on the computer stuff. And they were purchasing it themselves. So any agreement for the purchase of AI tools like Copilot or ChatGPT would be coming for the board.
Well, not if it's less than 25,000.
Well, and anything like that would be going through Hands Up Printed.
Yeah.
So,
Again, I'm just trying to figure out what are we trying, I understand, I guess, again, I gotta answer my own question here. This is just a policy to build a framework. So we don't have problems or issues or challenges within the district right now that we're like, we need an AI tool to
No,
help do a
But
better
we-
job?
right, but we do, like, I do know of staff that have used it for work product, just to test it out. So it's in the district already. So it's not like people are not using it. And it's something as simple as to compose an email. So, and with how popular, I guess that it can be, I would rather there be something in place to safeguard the district than there not be something and then just to have to backtrack it later.
When people start getting curious about something, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, the momentum on this right now is, as you said, it's phenomenal. Everywhere you go, 60 Minutes had a program last Sunday on it. I just watched a hour-long webinar with Bernie Sanders being interviewed by, he was Google's AI chief. Again, you were at this thing.
Mhm.
And it is so rapidly evolving that, again, trying to even catch this tiger and figure out what to do with it. I'm just very, very
Before
skeptical.
it bites you.
Yeah, of, I don't know what nefarious things, it getting into our systems and whatnot. That's my other question was by, who is our IT, hosting service that's gonna manage? Will they be a firewall or gatekeeper for stuff like that as well? Because the tools, they want to stay alive and they want to keep going and they want more control and more power. And
I've seen
that's,
this movie.
I have, yeah, I think we all have, right?
Skynet.
Almost fortunate.
It's exactly, so I'm very reluctant to go forward. I mean, I understand a framework and I think that's probably prudent to make sure staff knows we're not going to start launching tools. If you do something, you need to check it and verify what have you. But my question would be to that staff member, what are you using this for that you're suddenly in need of it? Or you've been doing, supposedly a great job at this for 95 years as an organization. Why do we need it now as a tool?
Why did we start using computers?
Yeah.
We used to do it all by hand.
It's the same, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just evolving.
I mean, and going back, even when computers started being introduced into the workplace.
No, I remember
And I
fighting my
remember
corporate people
in
for
our
email.
fire department,
They didn't want email.
firefighters were going all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, literally all over the place, in places they shouldn't have been, And then trying to close that gate afterwards, it's so hard.
But I'm not saying we are closing it. I'm just saying we seem to be really in a hurry to get on this bus. And we don't even know where it's going or who's driving.
Honestly, I disagree. I think every agency out there is trying to figure out how to navigate this and set the framework on it.
Yeah.
And to have a policy in place that they can then enforce for guidance. I don't know that this either allows us, enables us, or it just gives us something to manage around.
And that I'm fine with.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
I mean, we see it all the time.
Again, this
that there
doesn't
are-
even begin, this is just
Yeah.
the very, very beginning, this, like I said, this is gonna have to be something that's gonna be worked on continuously.
Yeah.
Because AI is here, it's with us, it's part of us,
Mhm.
we cannot escape it.
I think the policy does a good job at setting the framework and the guidelines for how you could potentially use the tool in your work. I do agree with Matt that I'd like to see it modified just to add that there's if we're hiring a contractor to do work for us and they're using AI, they need to disclose what that is so that we know.
Yeah, I think that's a great addition.
Yeah. And, operationally, how you want to manage it, as a board member, I'm content with Pat and the team sort of figuring that out themselves.
Yeah. And I would imagine you guys, when you do the lunch training session or whatever.
Yep.
This will probably start coming up more frequently as well, so that's not gonna be anybody who haven't heard it, or has
Yeah,
not been
we'll
exposed to
do
it.
a specific training on this, share the policy with everyone, have them sign it, review it. I mean, one thing I really like about it is it's not too long, it's 2 pages, it's very easily digestible, understandable. So
It gives
we
you
look at
something
many
that you
examples
can
that we're
enforce,
not.
or you can have a conversation with an employee about to say, hey, great effort. Well, maybe not because it's AI and you got around, but the intent was there, but you have to comply with this. In the absence of this, they've done nothing wrong, right? Or there's nothing that you can coach them to follow. It's gonna evolve. And, there is a lot of labor saving sort of process optimization stuff that's going on. We're using machine learning for power management, and how we blend gas with power, with pumps, with this, with that, because no human operator can think that fast, right? And so it's there. We just have to figure out a way to box it in. And, you as the general manager have to be involved enough to know when is it getting used in a manner that is sort of mission critical, right? Like if we're using it for processing invoices, that's one level of failure mode. I have seen mistakes get to me with that. If we're using it to characterize pipe defects or something like that, that's another level of, not fairly low risk. When it becomes something that's high risk, then what do we really want to be doing? And are we getting the right level of management oversight on it?
And we are looking at doing another transmission main assessment and talking to another company, talking to two companies. The one that did it before, and one that's a spinoff of that company, and I wouldn't be surprised if part of the process involves that,
I'm
but
sure it
you
does.
know.
Some, maybe not ChatGPT or Copilot,
Some
but some form of
flavor.
machine learning, some form, they've created their own GPT of some kind, based upon data that they've uploaded. And, so it's, I've talked to several GMs and wastewater agencies, and everybody's adopting a policy of this. And no one knows where it's going, so they're just putting some out there to say, here's the skeleton, we'll figure it out as we go. And then it's gonna evolve.
The other thing I would strongly recommend, I would like to see is that there's some training, if there isn't already, around what constitutes confidential information, what's personally
Yeah.
identifiable information, what's security sensitive information, because everyone has their own definition and understanding of those things. And just make sure that people understand too that they are sharing that information if they use the publicly available ChatGPT. I mean, they might not realize that.
Yeah, I think that's good too. That's a good one.
All right.
Do we have a consensus on this particular policy, or do we want to see another revision to it?
I'd be content offering it with the request that they modify it, that management modify
Going
it,
forward.
the disclosure by contractors.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think I need to see it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
go ahead.
I will so move.
I'll second.
Okay.
Director Covington,
Yes.
Director Zuka,
Yes.
Director Cotton,
I'm a reluctant yes.
Vice President Bella,
Yes.
President Wheeler.
Yes. Okay. Item 8B. Receive an update on the Happy Hydrant program.
All right, so you'll notice that there were no attachments in the packet you received on Monday, so we wanted to share here, and get the reactions. But, so the city
I was
has,
hoping that was gonna mean that this is gonna be a brief conversation.
I haven't seen it hydrants.
So the study did the outreach, they did a couple of rounds of outreach, we got a couple rounds of submissions, so far they've received 11 applications. And when we got them in, they were delightful, they're all the, hand sketches of what they plan to do, but they were delightful, so I thought it would be fun to share. We'll of course see when they're painted and done, but I put them together here so we can go through them, and let me resize things.
Oh, I like it already.
Yeah. So this is a hickory dickory dock. Colorful clocks with playful mice on a cheesy background.
I'm not sure how you get that on a hydrant.
I could see the small one in the middle there, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, the little clock faces the nose.
so the nozzles would be up here, and so this is hiding under nozzles, and it's all cheesy.
Cheesy.
It's wonderful. And then you have the little mice that
Swiss
you get to
cheese.
find. Adorable. This one is the Women of Notre Dame, Dana Muir. It depicts the history of Notre Dame de Namur and how it was founded by women and the first school in California to offer bachelor's degrees to women.
Did not know that.
Me neither.
Interesting.
Until I read this.
Interesting.
Into the Great Unknown. A space-themed design with rocket, Earth, moon, and shooting stars. And this was designed specifically for kind of one of the otter-shaped hydrants that has that kind of, that funny head on top that will be the spaceship. We did comment that we did not want it painted so predominantly black, so they were going to change it to a dark blue so that it's more visible. But that will be fun. Floral flow.
Sunflowers.
Sunflowers growing out of the base of the hydrant, flowers blooming out of the nozzles. So they become kind of dark area there. There's no place like home. It's time for the Florence Patano historical landmark to get its gnome. The hydrants selected are close to this landmark, and the design aims to honor it in a whimsical way. So on one side you'll get a gnome house, the other you get a nice little gnome.
Where is the Florence Patano Historical Landmark?
It's right across from. It's on De Las Pulgas, right?
Right at the top of the hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that used to be back in the 20s. It was part of,
The golf course.
well, it's the real estate.
Oh, I know exactly where
Brochure
that is.
office
Yeah.
or across from the country club, the Belmonte Country Club.
Mm.
And so that little tiny,
My daughters growing up thought that's where the princess lives.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it does look like the little castle.
Yeah, so that one's kind of a cool Belmont history.
It's getting a gnome. Orchestra Among the Daisies. Motifs from all across the orchestra tied together with vibrant daisies. Design featuring both Belmont's passion for musical education, beautiful gardens, and green culture.
Some of these are pretty
I
detailed.
don't know how they're gonna pay. That
Very
is a very
The
detailed,
way you think about it, some
Very-
of those features on there are
Very
pretty fine.
and it's on the ground. It's not like you could.
Yeah, you gotta lay on the ground to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna let them take them home?
I don't give that option.
Michael will have to give them
I
pointers.
was gonna say,
Yeah,
Michael can do a little
to the
tutorial.
Snoopy one. Mhm. Bloom in a case of emergency. Plays on the hydrant's purpose while celebrating the floral uplifting design, and I appreciate that it's a full rendering.
Yeah, that's
That looks
amazing.
very Chet.
I don't know about.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think it's Blender. So I don't know about their painting skills, but they're pretty good at Blender, so.
Oh.
Rolling hills of Belmont's past. It symbolizes the area prior to development of the neighborhood with oak trees. Belmont kiosk and chrysanthemum flowers reflect the city's heritage.
Nice.
Dragon in the woods. Imaginary dragons hiding in the woods of Belmont.
It has a, what is it, where the monsters roam?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where the monsters live,
there you go.
Yeah. Or where the wild things
Wow.
are.
Well,
Where
that's
the wild things are,
yeah. I knew it wasn't right, but you know what I meant.
Yeah, I know exactly. I could picture it in my head.
What's the thing on the right?
Santa Claus, I think.
That would make sense.
A hiker or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
But it looks like they're kneeling.
Yeah,
somebody playing the monster.
Looks like it's the
And
gnome from the other
Or
hydrant.
something.
Yeah, and there's a bird.
Looks like a rubber.
Neighbors in nature. A fox and robin celebrate the natural wildlife in Belmont's diverse ecosystem. Our wild neighbors share a community. And the wooded background with Water Dog Lake reminds us what makes Belmont special.
They're so pretty talented people.
And the first of Belmont, deer on a hydrant with flowers and leaves to symbolize the ones who were the first of Belmont. So before any people, there were deer.
yeah.
Good luck.
The deer aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are the 11 designs. I'm not sure if the city's doing another round, but that's we've
Yeah,
already
I hope
prepped.
so. It was good. Disappointed they're not,
Yeah,
there was
Bridget's-
nothing about the 150th anniversary coming up.
She's
It's like,
gonna reach out
I was
again
waiting for that.
after the
That's
holidays.
50 years.
Well, and I asked
Nothing.
if they would kind of, in their spin, when they send it back out again, to try to get something more Belmont. I mean, some of those were Belmont centric, but when you look at the original hydrants, they were like George Washington
Yeah.
and Dolly Madison. It was a bicentennial. This is our centennial. And so. I'm like,
George Ralston.
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
his name
William
was.
Ralston, I
William
don't
Ralston.
care whoever it is, but I'm like,
The one from
Trying to
Notre
figure out who
Dame,
Robin Whipple is.
yeah, that one's good.
the Notre Dame one I thought was really good.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
good.
I even like the one with the roses. I think it's really, it just stands out. It's really pretty.
Yeah, but I hope we'll
all
have one
great.
at least for the 250th anniversary, come on.
Yeah, so I said, when you resend this out, and by the way, she's departing the city, which is kind of
Alright,
stuff,
yeah.
but. She said she would try to wordsmith it to get more stuff, and we're just reaching out in Belmont right now. And they don't know, if they don't get enough, they may throw a wider net to see if they can get more participants, but
How many hydrants?
it's 33, was it?
We identified 24 in the program and they've gotten 11 submissions.
Oh,
here.
24, okay.
And so we've prepped a little over half of those and we'll get the rest done this next week, so they can start painting very soon. And you guys are certainly welcome to do your own painting outside of the city.
Belmont, you said?
Bridget Shearer. She's a Park and Rec steward,
Really?
yeah.
Everybody's retiring on it.
Yeah, thanks, she's great.
Okay,
I'm excited.
Very
It'll be
nice.
fun.
that's cool.
We have to do the next item.
C,
This time.
discuss process to recruit and appoint new board member for division.
Appropriate, but you just leave this whole thing.
I can be.
No, I thought you were going to leave.
No, you're gonna leave this,
You
right?
did it.
That's what I think.
It's your fault.
It's your baby.
That's right, I'm only
Um,
banned
Yeah.
from anything to do with selecting me as
Yeah.
a board member.
Man, we're being sarcastic.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right, well, why don't you actually intro this to begin with, and
Well, I am taking my second retirement. I'm going to be moving to North Carolina, Nashville. I have purchased a home there. We closed the contract on Friday. So I spent half the day trying to get the money straightened out with the bank. So I'll be leaving sometime around New Year's type of thing. I have a ADU that I'm giving up the lease on my house and I'm gonna be in an ADU for a bit, but I'm not sure exactly how long. So we'll see. So my presumption is that I will be available going forward as the process goes on in order to keep the board running as needed, attending meetings in some shape or form.
But an ADU qualifies, sure, see.
That's true.
Yeah, you get your man, right?
Yeah, well, I actually haven't told the mailman yet. Yeah, because I give up the house just before Christmas type of thing.
So your lease is up or you want to
Yeah.
negotiate a break from the lease?
No, I was on a month to month,
Oh,
so
that's easy.
but the December, I would have to. I got into it on the 21st of the month. So I have to be out of the house by the 21st or negotiate extra days
Yeah.
type of thing. So, but I wanna get stuff moved. So I can't really live in the house after all the furniture and other things are gone, so. And one of the neighbors has an ADU that is going begging over Christmas, so. So it'll be fine. But I had thought of putting it off for a while, but it seems like it would be awkward for us to appoint somebody and then turn around in the next month, have them run to get reelected. So at least we'll get a few months in before they have to start running for office.
What is the deadline for this upcoming election?
Discussion.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's three of you. The three is done.
Yeah,
I'm not,
so
we are on the same cycle. No, I'm wondering what the deadline is for the election, depending on your departure.
oh,
I
Like, can
think
you
it's
skip?
till February, before.
When are you
I mean, not
physically not
February,
gonna be
but
living
August,
here?
August.
well, I would not be living here basically sometime in January,
Oh.
February type of thing, so.
And
So you're gonna.
So I can't stay on the board all the way through to the end in the next election.
Correct.
although
Well, you can, you're just choosing not to.
you would have, you'd have up to 6 months. You could, oh,
Yeah. But that would put it right at the time when people would be filing an application to run for the November election. If I remember correctly, you had to submit in July.
Last time, yeah.
No, not that early.
That was like August fourth,
August.
yeah, but you get to get all your stuff ready and they opened up the
Yeah,
process.
they open it up in mid-July and it's like the first week in August you have to.
So
submit.
if you stay, let's say till March. Then that means that we don't have to appoint anybody and just let whoever is interested run.
Well, then you'd still be without somebody during the wait for the election. That would be the difference.
April, May, June, July,
Who knows?
August, we have no meeting. September.
It's a
The only-
pretty long time.
Yeah, the only thing I was trying to think of is like on this, is there a way to not do an appointment followed immediately by an election? Or 3 months later,
Is there a way to?
time wise? Like, do we have plus or minus schedules,
Can we
180
move
days,
C?
this, that, the other?
Can we move Division 3 from 26 to 20?
I wasn't going that far,
No,
but.
No,
Well,
I don't
your
think so.
term ends in November twenty
Right.
twenty-six.
That's right,
So
yeah.
that's,
So it has to be.
So it's up, that
That's it.
district is up,
Yeah.
that division is up, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Even if we appoint someone, it has to run again?
they would only be filling in for the
No matter
remainder.
what, yeah.
Yeah,
well, I guess there is one
because it's in
option.
the second half of his
So
term.
I'm certainly not advocating for it, that the district could call an election.
Yeah.
No.
For this, I said, I'm not advocating for
$250 million.
No, no need for that.
that,
No,
technically.
no,
Just letting you know the law.
Yeah.
yeah,
I was just
Yeah.
trying to circle back, I'm just kidding.
It was
But
going to be
this is the
either-
second half
Yeah.
of his term, then that person just fills the remainder.
Right,
Yeah,
and that's what I was wondering, is like, I wasn't sure that, I didn't realize the seat was up.
yeah.
If it was just, then it would be like, wow, man, we're forcing someone to run right away, but yeah, you're right, we're not. We have to do it right away.
But legally though, Julie, if there is less than 180 days, then we don't have to appoint. Am I correct there?
Let me check. I'm not sure about that. Is that sound right to you? We have a whole memo.
I don't remember that detail.
I'll check my memo.
I remember 180 days, but I don't remember what it meant.
I thought there was a 130-day thing, but just had to do with,
There's so many deadlines.
yeah, so the vacancy
Notification of
occurs in the
county.
second half of a term.
Because
Or in
180
the
days,
first half of the term, but less than 130 days before the next general district election, then that person fills the balance. But I'm not sure what this 180-day thing is, but I'll
because
check
the
my memo.
180 is when somebody is,
The seats
if
vacated.
Oh, you
it's
got it.
inherent, it means that the person has moved away from the district. That's 180 days. That's the way I remember.
So, yeah, so if a director moves outside the district and fails to reestablish place of residence within the district within 180 days of the move, there is a presumption that a permanent change of residence has occurred
Exactly.
and a vacancy
That's,
exists.
that's
So
it's out of
Kirk
there.
never steps down after 180 days after he physically moves. It would be vacant, no matter what.
But then you have only 4 people on the
Yeah.
board.
Correct. Correct, yeah. No, I just wanted to understand the 130, 180 and where it falls, you know.
And there's a trigger at some point if we do nothing but the county board of supervisors.
60 days if you do nothing after vacancy.
Yeah.
So they've never been interested in doing anything.
They have other priorities.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so,
With that,
we're all fine.
we have a process that we followed last time, which we would propose to follow again, and certainly if you have any feedback, particularly with those that went through the process, whether it's on content of the webpage, if we have that very detailed FAQ, if you felt like something wasn't, an appropriate representation, or you wish you had known this or that, please let me know and we can incorporate that.
Meetings run till midnight.
Yeah, the first few were eye openers after days at Vector and Park and Rec. Actually, Park and Rec went almost on midnight a few times, so.
why did I do this?
Yeah. No, I think it went great. I mean, obviously I was lucky to know you through Vector, and then Brian was my neighbor, literally 30 feet from my house, so it was easy to make that connection.
It was a good process, Kirk and I,
Yeah.
did
Yeah, the interviews were fun.
the interviews and we had some good quality candidates too. I mean, I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I felt like everyone was selectable.
Yeah.
Chose the best ones, of course. But I think it was a good group. So a specific question I have, when we first went into the process last time, we assumed the full board would interview the candidates, which to do so, that would have to be a public meeting where the public is invited as well as the other candidates can watch each other being interviewed, would obviously hear and see the questions and responses. Or what we end up doing is the board appointed an ad hoc committee of 2, and then those 2 did the interviews. It was a little different because we had 3 board members who were going to remain and 2 that were being changed through the process. So one question is the board's preference for doing the interviews by ad hoc or public meeting.
If we do public meeting, Kirk will have to recuse himself. or-
Yes.
Matt, what do you think? The ad hoc worked
I
well
think
last
ad
time,
hoc
but we
worked
don't have to do
fine.
the same.
I think, especially for the screening and all that other kind of stuff, be there. I would say we just follow the same process. In other words, what did we end up doing? We didn't do it full public.
Right.
It was an ad hoc committee of Dr. Isabella and we
Yeah, we have to find.
And then we made the proposal to the full board, obviously, and then the full board.
And the board asked to see all of the applications,
Yep.
so they could evaluate them based on their experience, et cetera, for the recommended selection.
Right.
It was kind of an interesting game of musical chairs with this person gonna be involved in this one, but not this, At least it won't be nearly so complicated this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it worked really well. Results sort of also speak for themselves. We got, great candidates and all that kind of stuff, so. I don't see the reason to change it.
All right,
And
so
it's simply for staff, not to announce and manage a bunch of chronic meetings.
as far as appointing the ad hoc.
Sure.
I'd be happy to throw my head in. I mean, I'm assuming I'm qualified because I'm running in November, but as a appointed board member, I would.
That's good. You're a full board member now, so. And I understand that probably Joanne and Matt are working all the time, so.
Yes.
Leave it at that.
Yes, I'm working on it.
I'll do
In
it.
other words, I'd be more than happy for you to step in.
I'll be happy to do it again. no problem.
I would say I will do whatever needs to be done to support the board, but I do think it would be useful to have perspective of a long-term board member involved on the committee.
An
So I
old
appreciate
guy
that.
and a new guy. Is that-
Very influential. I appreciate that.
Classic.
All right, Jack and I.
All right. And the next question I have, so if you recall, a few months ago, the board did actually choose to hold the special meeting for the strategic plan on January 8th. Last time, as we were having two new board members on, we postponed the strategic plan process to May to allow the two new board members to participate. So the question is, do we want to keep the January 8th date, or would you want to postpone it again this time?
No, I suggest we keep it.
I agree.
We should keep it.
Okay.
I think it's important for staff.
Great. Those were the specific questions I had. Certainly look at the
So
map.
we need to get together with you on the dates then.
Yeah, Alison and I,
Because I know there were some proposals, but we need to sharpen that pencil.
yeah, they were broad,
Yeah.
mid-January, yeah.
Yeah.
So Alison and I will be in touch on the process. Also, you have the detailed Division 3 map.
Yeah.
So if you know anyone who lives here, you can let them know, that be on the lookout, and you can draw up some interest.
There is not.
Mr. Stubbs up there, maybe get here. I think that's his reason.
Does he?
Charles,
Look, he's on,
Reed? Yeah, I think you're right, he is on Reed, because I used to live on Reed.
yeah, he's at the end of the cul-de-sac there,
I used to be in an in-law unit at the end of that cul-de-sac.
isn't
Opposite Briani at Colorado.
it? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's in there, yeah. Can't read all the streets, but.
I used to live there too.
Say what?
You used to live on Montserrat. On the Cresta. The Priori. Yeah. All right. We'll find somebody good.
Won't be as good, but they'll be good.
Right?
Okay.
So you go to the same thing as before, the outreach and all, the
Yeah.
flyers and the.
We'll
Yeah.
update the maps. And take a fresh look at that
Mhm.
webpage, but it's gonna be substantially similar. And we'll mail postcards to every single person or every single home within division.
When will that happen? When will the postcards go out for the notice?
What did we propose? Because we're working around the holidays, we want to leave plenty of time. So our goal
Yeah,
was
but this.
postcards in early December and have the applications due late January. Early February, we'd have the candidate interviews. The February board meeting, the new board member would be appointed, and at the March meeting, the new board member would be sworn in and begin.
Julie, question. Can we actually start the process now? Even though Kirk is
He's
not
still
sure when
here.
he's leaving? Is there a time when we
Do we do that
When we
last
can
time?
start the process, or we
did.
should not
did,
start the
yeah.
process?
I think we can, it's not like we're appointing anybody to an empty seat until you're gone. But yeah, there's nothing that would prevent us from.
Purchase your
Yeah,
home.
then in that case, the
later.
sooner the better, to get all that preliminary stuff out of the way. Okay,
Well, with Thanksgiving, you're gonna have a hard time getting everything together before the beginning
Well,
of December.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
that's why you start, because you have holidays and you have time off and all of that, so that's gonna be.
The webpage itself is easy to update, that
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
updated tomorrow, getting the postcard together is just gonna take a little bit longer, we already made the maps.
It's
That's
go
crazy,
for the
so.
low hanging fruit first, webpage and flyers and all that.
And you can make it clear that the position's not vacant yet, but if you're anticipating it'll be vacant at, such and such date.
And we did that in particular with Director Jordan's spot because the election wasn't certified yet, so we already had careful language in there.
Exactly, yeah. All right.
Okay, moving on to management and board reports. Financial report for the month ending October 31st.
Yo, so this is everybody's favorite report, I know, and gives us the money. So overall surplus, from operations to date is about $2.7 million, which is approximately $1.3 million more than this time last year in October. Keep in mind that since we're in October, we should be at about 33% of our budget, and currently our revenues are trending at about 38.5% of our budget, and expenditures are at 29.4% of our budget. So we're trending in the right direction for both of them, below for expenditures and then above where we need to be for revenues. Our water commodity charges, they are trending about approximately 40%. However, when you look at the water revenue analysis table, it is a little bit below where we had projected it to be based on the monthly usage, because we know that the water commodity charges are not, it's all variables. So there was lower usage during the month, so therefore lower revenues for that particular piece of it. So you'll see that there's a little bit of a shortfall there. But with additional water use later on in the year, we've got the potential to make that up. Other significant changes are we received a water system capacity charge for about $196,000 in the previous month. Interest revenue is at about $245,000. We're going to start seeing more, like some of our larger bonds and investments are going to start paying out more interest over the next couple of months, over the next 2 months, that we'll see. We should be at about 50% of the budget, I would say by the end of this month or beginning of next month. The purchased waters is trending a little bit higher than it was at this time last year, mainly because of the rate increases, and then just the timing of the payments for when we make those payments back to the SFPUC. Salaries and payroll are about exactly where they need to be. And the other big difference is professional services are actually below where they usually are. So we're about 147,000 below where we were at this point last year. When you look at the capital budget, you'll see that we've spent approximately 106,000 for the current fiscal year for debt financing. Keep in mind, a lot of that not a lot of it, but the most significant spending that we've done for the debt financing was actually in that last month of the last fiscal year in June. And we didn't pull that down until July or August, but
It's ramping up for sure.
it's ramping up for sure, yes, yes. So this is this chart is a little bit of a misnomer that these projects are going forward fairly strongly, and yeah, we're gonna be pulling down those monies. Paygo, we've had about $1.3 million in expenditures in the current year. And then you'll be able to see some of the changes in the cash accounts when you look at that reserve analysis. So you'll see that the project reserve is down to $32.8 million, which is about $600,000 less than what we originally had. And that includes the money, money market accounts that are basically collecting from investments that are now beginning to mature, so we can start paying off these we can start paying on these capital projects. Overall interest, I already talked about that. We're at about 40% of our interest for those items. And then when we're looking at the reserves, screen is looking like that. Looking at the reserves, we're still fully funded for the operating reserve, which I don't expect that to drop at any point. The capital reserve did drop from last month. Last month it was about 89%. Now it's down to 71% because we are making payments on those PAYGO projects. But everything else is trending exactly where it needs to be. The reserve for debt service, there was a question from the last council or the last board meeting, asking if we're gonna be fully funded by then. We are fully funded as of the end of October, so debt service is gonna go out on 12/1. Without, so we're not gonna worry about any of that right there, so. And at that point, I will just ask for any questions. I'll open it up for any questions.
One weird one.
Yep.
On the disbursement ledger, it's like 60+ grand refunded back to Firehouse Square.
So there was
Did
yeah. There was an overbilling that happened over the course of, I think it was what, 12 months, 12 or 13 months?
Yeah.
That we had to refund back to that particular customer. So that was, the financials have been adjusted for that. Because a lot of it was accrued from last year, but yes, there was an overbilling related to Firehouse.
Do we know why it happened?
We looked into it closely, figured out what happened. It was an error that recently retired employee who was responsible for billing made. We are confident it's not happening anywhere else. As soon as we found it, we, went through and did the analysis and reached out to the customer and
So is this during construction or is it like now when they're fully occupied?
as they're occupied. Yeah. It was, when the error was happening, it was thought to be a significant irrigation leak until we learned more about it and corrected the mistake. So we're confident.
It's all metered water then.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you overbill on
I know, it's like, just jump.
It is not a mistake I would have expected to happen. But yeah,
But
it's unique.
We found
and
the mistake or they found the mistake? And they pointed it out to us.
We found a mistake. That's right, Allison, right?
So it originally happened when they inquired about a bill being so high for that particular month, which led us into digging deeper into the past year. So they hadn't asked us about the past year. We looked into it and we found the error.
So this isn't just 1 month's bill. It sounds like it was.
Yeah, it
There's
was-
many months bills.
It was 14 months of bills.
Okay.
Correct,
Okay, I was
yes.
gonna- that's a
And-
whopping water bill for even a property like that, it seems.
Yeah, and this property had a relatively unique meter type that there aren't many of in the system, very few. So we're confident it's not a widespread issue.
Mhm.
It was, and we reviewed all of those meters of that type to make sure wasn't happening.
See, I read everything.
We do.
Yeah, that's, well, at least we fixed our mistake. So
Yes.
it's good. Thank you. That's it for me.
Well,
Okay. Any other questions on the financials? No. Thank you. District engineer.
Yes, so we're wrapping up work on a water main project at DLNO, the Coven Lincoln Newell Oak Knoll project, which I'll get to in a minute. And then we have several other, this kind of the lull before the dam kind of opens up as far as, I won't say dam breaks, it's probably not the right term to use, but
No.
there's a lot of CIP that's on the verge of going out to bid. And so we have 2 pipeline projects in the works right now. The Lower Notre Dame Willow that the board approved design of last month. And then the State Route 101 crossing right down the street here at PAMF. Those are the two pipeline projects, and then the tank projects that we talked about and the schedule for those are listed there. So those are just kind of updates. If there's no other questions, I'll dive into the DLNO project, the active project. Hearing none, just kind of cruise down to the DLNO project. It's, I reported this out last month. I'll report out again that this has been a pretty challenging project, not on the cost side. I think we have pretty good controls and so forth with the contractor. I'll get into the change orders in a bit, but just working with the contractor, tight area, the contractor's not the cleanest per se, and so we've had some issues with them, but overall, we're at the very end this Friday, hopefully in the next couple of days. By this Friday, the last big portion, which is the paving of the streets, will be done. And then we'll move on to the punch list phase of the project, working with the contractor, with the city on the punch list items. There was one vehicular incident. I reported it out verbally last month, if you recall, very briefly. This is a little bit more of a report here. And the resident is working directly with the contractor to get that resolved. It's the contractor's responsibility to pay for that damage. It was, I think, in the order of magnitude of like $6,000-7,000, something like that. They got an estimate to fix it. So, we hope.
This is the vehicle incident?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought the vehicle was driving and the contractor hit it with the track of an excavator?
No, the vehicle clipped the side of the excavator.
So why would we do?
Why is the contractor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're just staying out of it. It's between
Okay.
them and the.
So you said the contractor had to pay for the damages. And I'm
No,
like, why is
the
it on
contractor it's on the contractor's
Yeah,
side.
that I agree. Okay.
So we're not involved. It's their site, right? Like they
Yeah,
take
yeah,
responsibility of the site.
They was directing traffic through the site.
Doesn't matter if the vehicle hit the track. If the vehicle-
Let's not,
Yeah.
it's not, the ball is not in our court. Let's put it that way.
We have enough. We don't want to add any more.
Yeah,
Leave it
let's
alone.
just, that one, we do not want to take that ball. So, let's not take it tonight. So I'm just reporting it out as informational at this point. And then, what was I? Sorry. Change orders, yeah, so. So the change orders that we have been reporting out these change orders, we just didn't have the dollar amounts. So these are not things that you have not seen on, that's a double negative there, sorry, but these you've seen on previous reports, we just didn't have the dollar amount. So we finally went through and worked with the contractor. They submitted their documents. We went back and forth over a couple of months and resolved the change orders, and they're before you. So we typically break out change orders for those of you that have been on the board and seen past capital projects. We break it out into different buckets. One is unforeseen site conditions. It's essentially whenever you dig up the street, underground construction, you're going to run into things that you did not expect to be there. We do our best to alleviate those, but for a typical underground construction project, that alone runs about 10% or so in California. And so right now, towards the end of the project, we're running about 27,000, which is about 1% of the total. So we're not done yet, but that's looking pretty good. The other item, change order number 2, and so that's why we broke it out. Change order number 2 is stuff that we request, right? As a district, there's stuff that we want to add to the project, either because we think it will make the district, the project better, or we see something as we're working throughout the project and we decide to add it on. We have a good price. We just, add on to it. If it's still within the parameters that the board has given us at the beginning of the project. So that's that bucket right there, which added up to about 16,000. All these are broken out into much more detail on following pages. I'm not going to dive into it, but, and then there's still some upcoming change orders that are listed there. Things again that we thought would be prudent to add. We added a fire hydrant. We added some air releases after looking at how the pipe was underground. After we dug it up, we felt it was prudent to add some air releases for operational, to increase our
Yeah, I have a lot of.
to make operations better. How about that? And then if we can cruise down a little bit more, sorry, was there someone?
Anyway, that was my problem.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Not expecting that.
and then we have one other potential change order, which is the depth. In certain areas, the contractor went a little bit deeper than needed, or a little deeper than was designed because of obstructions that they ran into. But we had some lessons learned on previous capital projects, mostly on harbor. So now we have a bid item for the depth issue, so we don't have to negotiate with them. We just have to measure the length of amount of pipe that they went deeper, and we use the bid item on it. So with all that said and done, where we're sitting right now, there's 2.3% change order, or 43,000 on this progress payment. And then we anticipate probably around the same magnitude coming in for the next progress payment to wrap this up. But we're 95% done. As I mentioned, the last items of work that are being worked on right now are paving. And then the very last item, which is typically the slurry seal, it's installing a seal over the whole road to make it really nice and have a nice black top. We missed the season for that. It's too cold now to place that, so we're deferring that until early spring. So this contract won't be closed out until the slurry seal is done. The neighbors were notified via a letter to let them know that it looks like we're done, but we're not done. We want to come back and finish this up. We spoke to the city today, and I'll fill you guys in on that conversation. But anyway, project, I'm happy this one's done. We're probably gonna have some good lessons learned. The neighbors are probably going to vent a bit with the surveys that we send out, rightfully so, because it was pretty disruptive out there. Very narrow roads, just very congested, and then working with a, let's put it the right way. The contractor wasn't too clean, or but we managed through it, and I think cost-wise, we did pretty good on this project. So, any questions?
I just have one question about the additional fire hydrant.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why we did that, and are there other places in the district where similar circumstances might exist where you think we need more fire hydrants?
Well, this one was kind of unique. So typically, what we do is we meet with the fire department ahead of time, right? So when the project is in design, very early on, we meet with them and just say, okay, here's where you have fire hydrants. Let's work together on the spacing and work through those issues. So we have a pretty good relationship with them on the location of fire hydrants and so forth. So this one was a little odd. We were reinstating a water main that was taken out of service. So it's a cross country where we were lining it. If you recall, we had that issue with the lining where it kind of crimped down. And when we dug up the top of this water main that we're reinstating to hook it back up, we noticed that there used to be a fire hydrant there. Like we saw the remnants of a fire hydrant, and then we went back generations in our maps and saw that there used to be a fire hydrant there and it was taken out. And so we found it prudent to put it back. It very rarely happens in that way, where during design or during construction, we add a fire hydrant. Actually, I can't recall the last time it happening, unless the fire department comes to us and says, oh, we kind of screwed up and we actually need one there. But that's sort of the background.
Interesting. Okay, thanks.
Any other question? Okay, almost done. And then we'll have probably not in December, but in January, we'll have a full report where it breaks down all the change orders into color-coded stuff and puts it in the right bucket so you can see the percentages, and then we'll compare it to industry averages at that point. So, and then nothing really too exciting on the photos, but they're there. So, all right. Any questions I can answer?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Administrative services.
All right, so our maintenance technician, water system operator recruitment is coming to a close. Technically, it's just a maintenance technician recruitment at this point. So we had 74 applications total. We decided to interview 10 candidates. Our interview panel consisted of internal employees, Eric, Victor Fun, Victor Monet, and Michael Anderson and myself sat in on the first round interviews. From there, they suggested moving forward for second round interviews with myself, Kat, Sarah, and Michael. So we are now in the process of putting out offers for 2 candidates. So that's very exciting. So hopefully this recruitment will come to an end probably within the next week. So that should make us fully staffed, hopefully pretty soon. The district is looking at a text feature called Text My Gov. What this feature will do is something that the district's kind of been looking into, which is kind of honing in a more centralized section of the Belmont community for specific things, like if it's a water main break, instead of contacting the entire city, just contacting the affected area. So right now we're just kind of exploring our options and looking into this Text My Gov. It looks pretty user friendly. So we liked what we saw, so we're gonna just kind of explore it a little bit more. And then the last thing, JPIA merged with RiskStar in regards to our assets, and all of our assets migration merged over last week, and the RiskStar platform is great. I absolutely love it. I've also noticed that it's been a while since our property has been appraised. So JPIA will be coming out, since we are low on the totem pole. I have been given a year out. But they will be coming out and reappraising a lot of our property sites, which will be great for us to have some updated information. But the RiskStar in itself is just kind of a great tool that we all get to use, that kind of, safeguards a lot of our information, and it just kind of, gives us reports that are a little bit more comprehensive than what we had in our old platform. So that's it.
On the TechMyGov, Palo Alto for the power side had a system, wasn't that, but it was built specifically for the electrical, where you could pick a transformer, and if you clicked it out, it would give you all the downstream addresses from that transformer to know the outage, and you could notify just the outage. We talked to them about doing it for a water system, and they weren't set up that way, but just something to think about is that it was infrastructure based. It wasn't, you could do area drag and drop too. But they were thinking about setting, they said they could, if they had the time and someone wanted to pay them, create the functionality to, identify the same assets and then, pick the downstream, water assets and go to the downstream address.
And what was it called?
I can get you the name. Remember off the top of my head, but I just don't know what features you guys are looking for.
Yeah.
It's not as big of a deal. I mean, they have big grids, and a transformer or a line goes down, and you got to go figure it all out. Here, we can kind of drag an area and call it good.
Yeah, exactly. We looked at another option through Civic Plus, their mass notification system, which felt like it had a lot of features, but it felt like it had more features than we needed for our simple, use case here. TextMyGov feels like it's more right sized. It does have that, ability to, like you said, just draw a polygon. Our folks know our system pretty well. So we're evaluating it. We have our existing system, which was very cutting edge at the time it was built, but there have since been kind of commercial solutions that have come up. So working with John Davidson as well and talking about potentially, how a solution like this could be integrated with our website, similar to the one we built ourselves. So it's a process, but it's so far that's my job. Like it could work for us.
We had 18 shut-offs in October. What have
I'm sorry, I can't, you kind of cut out there.
18? We had 18 shut-offs in October. Allison?
Yes. So it's still kind of, we're still kind of transitioning. We have those still few shutoffs that are that were from the transition of billing from the old billing system to the new express bill pay, there were still a few little stragglers that we ultimately just had to shut off to finally be paid.
All right,
And see, the final notices is peaked as well.
Yes. So that it's the same concept. It was the transition of getting the last remaining few transitioning over to the new bill system. So the final notices. So the door hangers obviously took care of majority of them. But there were still a few that we needed to ultimately shut off and final notice before they paid us.
very good. All right, thank you.
Actually, just really quick, I keep reading that everyone is current with harassment, and then I don't go down and look at the list, but then I look at the list and my year is 2025. March of 2025.
I will
Am I
take,
not? Or did I do it and get you, I can't remember. Did I do it and get you something by then and we just didn't update the date?
Where am I?
I'm guessing it's probably not that I did it, just knowing me, but.
I don't want to call you out, Matt. I don't know if you did it.
Alright, let me know, I can put the 2 hours in, I probably did one for one of the other cities that I worked for that I can get you some sent to, so.
Perfect.
And James, it looks like you need
Yeah,
yours.
I just saw that, yeah.
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 Kirk, you're gonna do it by December 10th.
Yeah.
One of my final acts.
Party. That's a little behind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe just an
Well, this
list
is
got
June now.
copy pasted,
I
know.
because this is updated, so
I was away.
we can look at this.
You could do it from Malta.
You gotta be kidding me, right?
Yes, I'm totally kidding.
I just started typing an email to her too about that. Wait, I just saw that date.
Yeah, we'll look at these
No, we'll
dates,
do
I
it,
think
we'll
there
do
might be
it.
some updates to be made.
I'm thinking what I got you, because it says April 27th for me is, I got you the ethics training. But I may not have done the harassment one,
Okay.
the harassment prevention one. There.
Okay, moving on to operations.
Right, so on the projects front, we're making some good forward momentum, as Driven said. A lot of things are about to just take off. The Folger Emergency Operations Center, we've received our final permits. They've been issued and we're currently reviewing the bid package. It's been drafted in its entirety, reviewed by legal. We got that back late last week and there wasn't really anything significant. So we're just kind of cleaning it out before we give it back to the CM. So we should be putting that out to bid
Very soon.
very soon, yeah. As Jubin mentioned, the Coven and Lincoln Newlands project is almost complete, and for phase 2 of the Highway 101 crossing, for the new water main under Shoreway Road, we're still waiting on the sewer system plans from San Carlos. We have successfully executed a project management task order and engaged in pre-construction services. This means we're actively pressing on our end to be ready once those plans are finished. And as far as operations and maintenance activities, a couple of key updates. We did receive the final cathodic protection system survey report. And we're reviewing that with our district engineer. It's a significant step and will be a significant cost once we prioritize that. Similarly, the arborist report and maintenance plan has been submitted and we are prioritizing those recommendations, which I kind of outlined in detail in the report here. We did see a notable increase in water main breaks during October compared to September, which required our immediate attention. And we continue to handle a steady volume of underground surface alerts. Otherwise, administratively, our staff has been quite busy. We had Drew attending the Water Smart Innovations Conference and participating in the State Water Board public workshop on the Bay Delta Plan, specifically the scientific basis report regarding the potential voluntary agreement. I think Kat might talk about that in a little more detail as well. And he also participated, is actively working on our 2024 water loss audit. We did perform field assessments in support of updating our risk and resilience assessment report. We went on some follow-up appointments with the fire department. We finally got someone to walk with us, so we went out a couple of times to get all those sites assessed, working with our consultant. And I am not the weather person that Rana was, but I did include a summary here of the hydrological conditions report. And the bottom line is there that due to widespread normal participation, we are looking good at 89% of the maximum precipitation.
Sorry, everybody else left
The
it.
rain has participated
Okay,
well.
there you go. I unfortunately.
Thanks for calling that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're at 89% of maximum capacity. This gives us a pretty favorable look for our water resources for the upcoming season. Summary.
Hope the rain keeps participating.
Right.
It certainly is.
Watch the names.
Like the picture.
Pretty consistent.
Oh, and I did include also in the report, just as an attachment, the entire detailed report from SFPUC, the hydrological conditions report.
So if you haven't done the tour, Joanne, for head chief,
I haven't.
would recommend, that's from the top of the dam, and you get to stay up there overnight. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's,
Signs, yeah.
Yeah, once they,
they're done for the season.
They
Back
announce
up.
I don't know
Yeah.
how I got in.
Next year.
Yeah,
No,
next year,
I'll
Joanne,
put
you and
several
I,
hands up and
yeah,
hopefully we can get a good couple of spots again.
Joanne and I get. to
Yeah,
go next
yeah.
year, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's, it's pretty.
Okay. Moving on to general manager.
All right. First, I wanted to share an email I got from Rena this evening that he is currently watching the Coalinga Horned Toads boys varsity basketball team play. It's been about 30 years since he's been able to attend. And so he's very thrilled to be able to participate and watch the games again. So go Toads.
Fighting toads, there you go.
That's fun.
Something I did not, or I forgot to put in my report, but you all got an email from North Coast County Water District. This looks at all familiar. They're having their open house and ribbon cutting ceremony for their new headquarters tomorrow afternoon in Pacifica. I'm going to Cal Palra, so I won't be there. Sarah will be there. But if anyone's interested, I hope you can make it. They use the same architects, Nolan Tam, as we do. Tom Beal wasn't their primary architect manager, but Scott Salgi, the principal, did their project as well. So
I'm gonna try and go.
I can't make it. If anybody wants to be, come see the plant, we're having a CWA dinner tomorrow night, hosting at a wastewater plant. Should be combining food and sewage.
that sounds amazing.
On site,
That's full cycle,
on
right?
site.
Yeah. You're in the industry.
Yeah.
There's never an end to the joke.
Oh, no, humor. What's that?
Soylent Green.
No, we're gonna do it in the solids handling facility.
Oh,
Hey, my office is on the damn primary. I mean, come on. No, it'll be inside.
Check.
Actually, I was surprised that very few places that you can actually smell.
Yeah, no, it's all
Where you
right.
are.
Very few places in the
Yeah,
area.
even the South City one, you did on the tour. I'm like, why doesn't this reek?
Yeah,
And you're standing over tops of millions of gallons. It's very moving.
All right, other late breaking news that didn't make it into the report, we did schedule the 2x2 meeting with the city of Belmont. So that'll be December 9th. So in the report,
On that, between now and then, we need to do a pre.
we will, I've also asked, I'm not sure which city council members are participating, so, I've asked them.
It's still different,
Well,
but we
interesting
need
to
to
know.
have our stuff together.
Yeah. Yeah, and, yeah, we have.
Who's it, the 2x2?
So Jubin.
Mm.
Give us the ammo.
Oh,
I don't know if we need that,
no,
but
I don't.
We have
I think
ideas.
we're-
Fine, give us the weapon.
No, it's been pleasantly okay.
Well, that's good too, yeah, that's good to know.
So,
I mean, we're not there to bash anybody or to
Yeah.
look at the ugly stuff, you know? But if something didn't work, we need to call it, if something
Oh, sure.
works.
I agree.
So,
so it's coming up and we'll prepare for it.
it'll be
No,
interesting,
It'll be,
yeah.
okay. It'll be good. The new public works director will have been here a couple of months now, so,
You
yeah,
know,
I'm looking forward to it.
we'll be around for a little while. Juan, right? Juan?
Yeah. Edric Kwan.
Edward.
Edric,
Yeah.
Juan. All right.
So in the report, I did complete the Aqua JPI Leadership Essentials program. So that was a wonderful, wonderful program.
Good job.
A lot of introspection and whatnot. So it was a really good experience. And actually, Sarah is starting a program this year. So she'll be doing the same fun visits and monthly webinars. And so it'll be really good. I did mention last time we had, but it wasn't in the report, so I documented it here. A meeting with Director of Emergency Management. So we're really looking forward to working with her next year, in ways the county can view and help support water agencies and emergency planning. I attended the board secretary clerk conference, that was on Allison's recommendation. It was a great conference. A lot of it was kind of covering some fundamentals, so I certainly have been familiar with now for, 10 plus years, on the mosquito district board as well as here. But, definitely took a deeper dive into, Public Records Retention Act and all the new updates to the Brown Act, which don't really apply to us. Nothing we really need to worry about, but might in the future start applying to us. Also some website compliance issues. As I mentioned at the last meeting, I was going to attend the next day, a tour with Assemblymember Pappen. She toured the mosquito district. And our representative at CSDA, when she said she couldn't make it to the water district, very helpfully said, "No worries, Kat's on the board there, she'll be there." So I did. And it was a very good tour and experience, obviously focused on the mosquito district, but I was able to talk to her about her recent bill on disclosure of water use by data centers that was vetoed by the governor. But I shared some thoughts and she was engaged, and I think what she said was, "I just learned 2 new things in the 20 seconds talking to you that I hadn't set up a meeting with me." So it was great. I was like, second time's happened this week, so
And resubmit.
yeah, she's planning on pushing it next time, so yep, so it's great, and I definitely support it. She says it's a common sense bill, why wouldn't it pass? So
That's the government
I'll leave the
money,
politics
President.
to her, but I'll share our perspective. IT services RFQ is on the street. We held the mandatory pre-submittal meeting on the 13th last week. Feels like forever ago. It was attended by 7 companies. And we haven't dug into the details of all of them, but at least several of them have have local presences, relevant experience with small government agencies. They submitted their questions and we responded to them. There were a few more questions than I anticipated, a total of 108 IT questions we got to respond to. I feel like perhaps I'm the IT expert now, I don't know. But we're looking forward to getting the responses on December 10th. So we have a process in place to review those, and when we get to the point, we'd like to execute a contract. We'll bring that here to the board. Sarah mentioned the Bay Delta Plan amendment process. So the state recently released a draft scientific basis report supplement for the Tuolumne River Voluntary Agreement proposal. And they held a hearing on that. The state board held a hearing on November 5th. So that report is necessary before the board can consider the voluntary agreements or now the Healthy River and Landscape Plan. It's it's the report that substantiates what the benefits will be. And so I was not able to attend that because I was doing a leadership program graduation. The public hearing had comments from approximately 75 stakeholders total. From all varieties of or all aspects of the issue. We did speak. Drew spoke on my behalf. We worked on what information what he would share when he spoke. So we participated in that as well. Of course, SFQC and BOSCA and some other member agencies. We also BOSCA issued a comment letter, which I attached to my report. And we signed Aqua's coalition letter as well. That's also attached here. We certainly believe in the Healthy Rivers and Landscapes program and protecting our water supply here for users in the Bay Area. So I think it's a good resolution. So tier 2 minimum purchase quantities, we're down to 25 out of 26 agencies having approved. And hopefully the last one will approve here soon, so almost there. And the other item, the US Treasuries, as I mentioned, we had some maturing at the end of October, and we directed Wolf Hansen to, assuming rates stayed the same, to go ahead and solicit, taking half of that amount and putting it to a 1-year securities and the other half to 2-year securities, as we anticipate rates going down in the future. So we want to lock those in for as long as we can and stay, appropriately liquid. So the bid results are here. The 12-month, we got a yield of 3.65%, which should give us earnings of about $61,000. And the 2-year had yield of 3.5%, which will amount to about $115,000. So that was successful. The audit, most of that work is complete. So once we get the full draft, we'll schedule a finance committee meeting to review that. Ultra Drive, as Sarah mentioned, we're almost out to bid. I do have in here, so we are going to use for the first time a virtual plan room. This is managed by a company called BPX Printing, something. They're out of Benicia.
Yeah.
And it's a plan room that Pakor has used before with Prisma and was planning to recommend for our next project, and we beat them to it with the Folger one, so we'll go ahead and use it. It's a really kind of nice system where they manage so contractor requests the plans, they get a hard copy as well as electronic copies through the website here. The BPX also distributes it to all of the builders exchanges, and they, for every contractor that purchases plans, these, because they're very extensive, we're pricing at $150, they give us a credit. So assuming we get, a relatively decent amount of participation, this entire service is free to us because of that process. So we did look at some other options out there that were going to be substantial annual costs and many thousands of dollars, and then there's this option, which was just wonderful. So we went with that. So that's that. If there's anything else in here that jumps out, let me know.
On the rehab on there, like we're Where are we then?
We had kind of paused it just because we were so focused on Folger and getting Folger out. We are planning to have a presentation in December. To the board just to give update and, refresh for, in particular, and intro for the new board members as well. So we're shifting our focus on the architectural design side to this one now. That's pretty much done. That folder's pretty much done.
Have the water loss, I'm sorry. Is the water loss audit, is that an annual thing?
It is an annual thing. It's due at the beginning of the year. It's a very complicated spreadsheet that we fill out. It requires validation of a third-party certified validator, which we call eSource through a subscription program with Bosca. And we have the same validator for the last few years. So now he's, quite familiar with our data, our system, our staff. So the process goes very smoothly, but, yeah. And we're in a good position. We're considered very low water loss, so.
All said, no other questions? Moving on to directors' reports. Yes,
Nothing, other than the kind of the harbor industrial project, Matt's presentation was good, so I enjoyed that. Didn't go into a ton of stuff, but it's always informative. You guys were there as well.
Yeah, we were there too to support Mr. Zuka.
Reporter heckle.
We did ask a lot of questions, though. We engaged you, so, yeah, mission was a little bit more well attended, but it was a good.
Yeah, there's three property owners instead of the normal 10 or 11. Must have been the wastewater topic, like.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people came to my talk.
Yeah. Again, the pleasure to forget.
Just timing.
So, yeah, and today I went to OpenAI, which was extremely huge eye opener. So it was good. It's good to stay ahead of the AI novelty, whatever you call it, that's coming in, the wave. But yeah, that's it.
yeah.
No, other than I gave a presentation, at HA, and that month before Lewis came out and I gave him a tour of the wastewater plant, so I'll extend the offer to any of you, if you have the desire, staff as well, to come and see where the water ends up eventually. Happy to do so. Just let me know.
It's well worth it. It's,
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive.
I mean, I enjoy that engineering stuff anyway, so, but this water waste.
And it doesn't stink that bad. And that's it.
Okay.
No, nothing to report. I've been taking it upon myself to walk around the district and find all of our tanks. So I do have opinions on color, but I'll keep it to myself. But other than that, nothing.
I heard you talking about the West Belmont thing. I go like,
Yeah,
it's not even, that's in my neighborhood. You didn't know that, but she knew. Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, off Christian Drive.
all right,
Yeah.
good. So we'll have the West Belmont tag and the Hallmark tags
Yeah.
close to us, yeah. Anyways, all right. And yeah, you're leaving. Okay, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
Well,
I was at the HRA. Matt did a good job. Yeah. And what was the other one? Oh, you had the agenda meeting
Oh, that's
last
right,
week.
yeah, yeah.
But other than that, I haven't been that busy in the district.
You were busy doing something else, like
Right.
buying a house.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. Communications. I actually got a communication. That came directly to me. And you have a copy of it from our JPIA.
Oh.
And it relates to, that's graduation from the JPIA Leadership Essentials for the Water Industry Program. So, but we should all have an opportunity to see this.
Congratulations, Kat.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
well done.
I hope they gave you a plaque or something.
Yes, yes, it's in my office, not hung up yet, but it's a very nice.
Really?
Ooh.
And star too? Happy face?
A little tabletop topics thing, a nice little gift of cards to kind of start conversations. Yeah. Yeah, but it was a really good program, really good people were in the program, leading the program. It was a good way to have
Anybody from the area here?
coercive. No one very close. It was interesting.
So these were all from special districts?
Yeah, so all did water in some capacity, some were irrigation districts, some were water and electric. There's several in the mountain communities, so Mammoth, Kirkwood. Interesting to hear all the ski resort kind of stories and those folks who have to work in the snow all the time and. You know, we're spoiled here in the Bay Area.
How many students?
There were 17 in the cohort.
Okay.
And how long, I know it's a year,
It
but
was a 1-year program. There were 4 in-person sessions. So the first was, I think it was 2 days. So quarterly, we would go and all meet in Roseville and spend a couple days together. And then every month in between, we'd have a webinar where we had homework to do and we discuss, and we could, obviously discuss things related to the homework we did or other kind of leadership management challenges we were facing as came after the instructor said, call an audible and talk about your situation. And, there was a lot of that for sure. And it was great because you got feedback and perspective from both the trainer, but certainly all of your other peers. So it's a really valuable program. I'm glad I did it. Rena had done it, Tammy had done it, Michael and Misty have done it. Sarah and Allison will do.
Has the board done their disc assessments?
No, we haven't done disc. All the staff have done disc. And we've had, a couple of satellite trainings. It's one of these workplace personality things like Myers-Briggs, but more simple, it's more simplified, but it's still quite valuable and useful. And it's really kind of just a common vernacular now that we can use when you kind of do have these, workplace and Jubin's team does it as well. But when you have, kind of conflicts or communication issues, it's kind of like, okay, wait, here's what's happening here. You're like, calm down. You're being a little bit too much of your D type. Not working so well with my C type here. And it's very helpful. I am an outer CD, like very.
So how different is it from Myers-Briggs, for example?
I haven't done Myers-Briggs. I've done
My
color
day,
training.
Myers-Briggs,
Yeah,
done it so many times.
Success signals colors training. It's very similar to that if you've ever done that, but there's several different.
This is more graphical, I think. It's a little bit more you could see it a little bit better, so.
Oh, yeah.
To Myers-Briggs, so.
Working Genius is pretty good too.
yeah, that was a part
I
of.
just did that
we did the
one.
work-
That's like my favorite
part of
one.
it,
Working genius?
Working Geniuses, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Especially when you get a team involved. So you can leverage
Yeah.
other people's geniuses.
interesting.
that's very interesting. There was part of it was the cohort was broken into 2 teams by the instructor at the beginning. Oh, I don't want to spoil the kind of like kicker at the end, but there was a method into how those teams were created, which we didn't quite realize until the very end. It was like, and
Put a
then you
D,
really
an I, and an S, and a C in there.
yeah. So it was really interesting. And so there was a group project where we had to work as a team and, stretch our leadership skills and in that. And
We offer this for our spouses too at our company, so. It's not necessarily the best thing to do. I found out. Cause it's a circle and I found out, my wife and I are 180 degrees from, like literally 100. Like the most away from each other we can be.
which probably makes perfect sense.
Oh, they know, but they don't try.
Exactly, exactly.
That's why.
We could do DISC as part of the strategic plan update or anything else. If we don't do team building and do that, we can. There's interest.
Didn't take very long. To do the assessment.
Yeah, the assessment is
Yeah.
online. It's, 15 minutes maybe.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, I believe it is time to go to closed session.
Five? Take five?
Yeah.
Pause the recording. And we'll say good night to
Hi, Allison.
Allison and Michael.
Hi, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Luck, we're all counting on you.
Yeah, Mike, those pipes.
I
I haven't seen, board of it, but it's been a while.
Yeah, we just, in March, so it's, some big infrastructure.
So I think I emailed, no, I shouldn't say I think, I did email you just that one exhibit.
Yeah, I have
And we gotta
So we
talk,
did catch
yeah,
up.
we gotta catch up at some point, yeah.
So Tammy's back in action, huh?
I don't think I think she's trying to work herself out of a job, so they closed recruitment. Oh, man, I meant to check, I think they're closing recruitment tomorrow, or Friday, whenever that is. Either it was last Friday or this Friday for GM. See. But they increased pay, so I think they got some candidates. I don't know if they're good.
Don't know if they're good or not.
Yeah, but it's better than not getting any candidates, which
Have you gotten them any inside news? Are they looking like good solid candidates?
I think as they were coming in, there were some good ones. I didn't hear about, usually there's like an influx last week, I guess, so I haven't heard about that yet, but. Yeah. You doing good? Yeah. I like my Ford.
You having fun?
Yeah, haven't ran out of battery yet, so that's a good thing. I took it up to Tahoe, I had to stop at I wasn't quite sure, like, going uphill.
You get to Tahoe? Wait, do you have the extended range?
No,
Oh, never mind.
so I wasn't quite sure, like,
Yeah, I
how
got the
much, it's not a
extended range.
one-to-one going uphill, right? Like, it's like a.
Yeah, but
drops.
when you go downhill,
Yeah,
you're regenerating,
yeah.
so. Well, I got the extended range because I didn't wanna have range anxiety. I don't wanna have to charge like for commuting to work and
Yeah,
back, like if
yeah,
I go to Santa Cruz or Stockton,
yeah,
I don't have to try, I wanna go home,
right,
you
right.
know,
What's the range?
around 300.
Oh,
And then mine, you don't have the extended range.
I do have the extended.
Oh, yeah, so I'm the only one, so I have, mine is, if you fully do it like 220, I guess, 200, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 220, because I do it to 80%, it's like 170 miles or something, but. I don't really, my commute's like 15 miles, and then when I come, everything's kind of within the Bay Area,
Yeah,
so I haven't
and
had
you can
to.
get to 80% in 15 minutes, like if you have
Yeah.
to charge, if you get a fast charger, it's
Right.
it's so fast.
I had to, like, I never had to do the math, like, I became a member of EVgo,
Yeah,
the fast DC charger kind of
Yeah.
thing, and,
I've got charge point,
yeah.
there's so many now.
Yeah, I mean, I've only had to do it a couple of times and both times I've done it, it wasn't even a membership thing, it was just like tap your credit card like a.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know you could do that,
Yeah,
like,
if you
I
have the app,
didn't
you
know.
can just use your phone and just boop and you're good to go.
Yeah, I, if I knew, I don't like to become members of, and down the
Yeah, yeah.
app, I was like, I
yeah,
thought I had to
did
do
the
it.
Ford one, but then everything, well, I mean, I've done it, I've had it since end of December and I've charged twice away from home.
Yeah.
So once in Roseville and once in Truckee,
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's, actually, my in-laws cabin, I take that back, but I didn't have to pay.
We offer 3 hours free training to all employees at SCCW as a commute center.
Wow, that's nice.
There's a bank of Teslas lined up every morning.
sure, but.
your employees Tesla, hopefully.
Yes, yes, exactly. Although, if you could be any Tesla, technically they get onto the plan.
Yeah.
but they have to pay.
It's a nice perk.
No kidding,
Yeah.
it is.
Cause I've had clients ask me like, do we have, to? They've had employees like demanding it, and I'm like, no.
It's
It would be
like getting
okay
free
if
gas.
people gas money, like.
Well, we're not doing it as an equity thing, it's more because we can argue that it's a sustainability effort.
Mhm.
We also generate 75% of our own power on site.
Oh, that's.
As soon as we get to 100%, we're gonna probably offer unlimited.
Nice.
Because, you know, and then it helps offset the cost of commuting for
And helps get people back to the
into the
office.
office. Exactly. So it's for all those other reasons. It's not, we're not gonna start offering, you know.
Yeah, no.
I remember Caltrain discount card, it was like, oh my god, I won the lottery, you know?
Recording.
Get your
Definitely not
commute on the
recording.
train and juice.
Green.
Look at getting rid of a car now. Go back to a one-car household.
I would love to be one car, but it won't work for me. Training.
Yeah.
We're back from closed session of the report.
Yes, so for the first closed session, the board voted to initiate litigation by a 5-0 vote. For the second closed session, there's no reportable action.
Thank you. And I will close
Meeting adjourned.
the meeting adjourned.